Okay. So so these are some of the things that we did yesterday. And of course, the max, average if. So once we had talked about the if function, you could also average. You could also look at average if. You specifically maybe want to average if the number is less than, and for all the only those numbers that maybe are greater than a certain value or something. So you could use the check how average if function works. Today we want to look at there's something that we should be looking at before we go to these ones. There's something called data validation. So we want to look at, before we go to that formula, data validation, or we keep this for, yeah, okay. So we'll do data validation first. What do you think data validation is? Yeah, this is a question to the floor. What do you think data validation from what it means from the statement data validation? Any lady? Lucy? Data validation. What do you think it is?
Okay, from what I've heard before, I think it's whereby you confirm the data that you are using is in correct form.
You
I'm
con
not sure, but I think
you confirm whether so it's more of like you're talking about you clean the data or something.
I'm not really, but just ensuring that it is able to give you the results that you need. I don't know. I'm not
Mm,
sure. But it's different from data cleaning.
okay,
Because data cleaning is ensuring nothing, every all data is in the way it should be.
okay. So this is a question for the ladies. Mariwa, I saw Mariwa here. Unless yeah, Mariwa is in. Mariwa, what do you think data validation is? Please unmute and just say anything. If you're speaking, you're on mute. Mm, if Nani is still preparing, Nanjala, tell us what data validation is.
Maybe you set a specific criteria to accept data maybe in a hapa kwa easy tables.
We're setting a criteria. Mariwa is saying it's about checking the accuracy and quality of data. Emily, do you have something else to add?
I think it's just checking the accuracy and just to know if it's the actual representation.
Okay, yeah. So all that you've written, I'm seeing some comments here in the chat box and saying, Nathan, ensuring that data entered into a system or application is accurate, complete, and meets the required standards or specifications. Back to men. Give me an example of where you may do what we call data validation. So the ladies gave the definition. Men, give an example. So for the definition to make sense. And I'm starting with Nathan. Yes, Nathan. Hit the nail on the head. Please unmute, Nathan. You defined it correctly in the. No, Nathan is avoiding speaking. Kamau, Kamau is also not Kamau. Okay, used in data entry. So that's an example. Okay, used in data entry. Nathan is saying that. Derek, are you also going to type or unmute? Amos is saying screening of data carried out during survey. Hillary, Nathan is saying data importation. Hillary?
An example of where we can use data validation is when maybe there's an exam that has been done, and a student can get marks of 100 and above, or 0 and below, the negative side. So you restrict the marks, the input marks, to be maybe 1 to 99. Yeah, that.
Yes, that is an example, right? Another data validation that you could say is you have a data for dates of birth, but then you don't want the dates of birth to go below 1990. So that if somebody inputs 1989, they're supposed to get an error, right? Or you want to put a validation that okay, people are entering phone numbers, yeah, they're entering phone numbers, and so phone numbers, you definitely know it's if you are starting with 07, then it's 10 digits, right? 070051, yeah, so it's 10 digits. So you want to restrict it so that somebody doesn't input more than 10 digits. So that is now what we call, again, data validation. So how do you want, so whenever somebody inputs a number that is more than that, he finds an error. So that data validation, you can do it here in Excel. You can also even do it in when you're creating your Google form. For example, you're carrying out a survey, and then you're creating the Google form. There are ways in which you can validate that data. You can do data validation so that when somebody is entering information, they put a wrong one, they get an error. If the email is supposed to be containing at something, so if the moment it lacks maybe that sort of at, there's an error on they are told, so that maybe input the correct email or something. You could do that in Google Form. You could do that in other data collection tools like Kobo Toolbox, and yeah, there are quite a number of tools that you can use for data collection. So similarly, you could also have data validation for data entry. So when you're entering data into this Excel file, so you could have maybe data validation rules so that you don't make mistakes. Let's copy. Okay, let me just copy this up to age and say so we have name, gender, weight. So let me give it up to, let's work with maybe up to there, and I do some formatting here, and then we do this. Yeah, I mean, whatever I'm doing is not part of data validation, but I'm just creating a border so that we know where we are reaching. So yeah, so we want to enter the ages, but then we want to say that the age is supposed to be between maybe between what? So for people joining university, you'll find them maybe between 18 to 30. Let's just say that as an example, that when you're doing this data entry, ages is supposed to be 18 up to 30. So you select where you want your data entry to, or your data validation to be. Instead of, so this is when you have like a not so huge data set. That is when you can just highlight this way. Otherwise, you could just press here, and you just click on that column that you want to do the data validation. So any data that is going to be entered, even up to like the last row in Excel will always contain that rule that you're going to set. Yeah, so you select, of course, where you want to, or you could just do this. So where do we get data validation? So if you go to insert, of course, you won't find it. Page layout, then you come here where it's written data. So if you check here data validation, if you check here, you can see what is written data validation. Yeah. So it tells you, let's just see. If you hover it around, pick from a list of rules to limit the type of data that can be entered. For example, you can provide a list of values like 1, 2, 3, or only allow numbers greater than 1000 as valid entries, right? So here we could also just define what is our rule. So you click there, come to data validation, and then there is here, what do you want to allow? So we have validation criteria. What do you want to allow? So here, of course, it's still at any value. So here, if it's at any value, it means like there is no validation that has been set on this. Yeah. So you could click here and say, we want to allow whole number. Yeah, whole number, so it does not contain decimals. So for age, you could say you want to allow whole numbers. Yeah. So then there is here data between, not between, equal to, not equal to, greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, then less than or equal to. So we could say maybe between. So what is the minimum value that you want? You want 18, yeah, to be the minimum value, and maximum value to be, let's say 30, or yeah, let's just leave it at 35. Then click here on OK. So if you enter 18, it accepts. If you enter 26, 27, sorry, 30, it's accepting. Let's try entering 41. You see the error that is brought. Yeah, this value doesn't match the data validation restrictions defined for this cell. Retry. So whether you try to enter it, it won't happen. Yeah. So retry. So it just keeps you on check. But if I go back and type 34, it's accepted because 34 is within the range of 18 to, if you try to enter 17, this value doesn't match the data validation restrictions defined for this cell. Are we together? Thumbs up if you're together. Hilary, anybody feeling left? Mariwa is together. Mbodza. Lucy Kamau. Lucy Kamau, you are not okay. Lucy, you could unmute and say where you're lost.
I can't seem to get the data validation on my toolbar.
You come here, so you are here at home, eh? Are you here, Lucy?
Yeah, okay, I was at the data. Let me go back to home.
You are here at data. Let's go to data here. Are you at data?
Yes.
Are you seeing this one, data validation? There's text to column, flash fill, remove duplicates. There's data validation. Are you seeing it?
Not really. I think the way my Excel is different from yours.
How is yours? Like, what are you able to see here under data tools?
Okay, I'm able to see from the refresh all. I can see the sort, filter, advanced, test to columns, and then what if analysis, forecast chart, sheet
Mhm.
is in and group. And then the last one is data analysis.
So this one is up there. Data validation.
I've seen
Sorry?
it. It is not. I've seen it. It's in icon alone. It's an icon alone.
Oh, okay. So you are able to
Thank you.
find it now.
Yes.
Okay. So can you try out that Nini? Try to put a rule. So you just select if it's this column E, and then put your rule there. Anybody with a question? So I'm seeing you're unmuting.
Yeah, I think I'm back. I was walking fast to where I can settle, so I couldn't respond. Now I can't also see. I think I'm in the same page with her on my on my on my dashboard. That is on my dashboard. When I click data, it's not giving me the data validation option.
What is it giving you?
It's giving me data that is from file database, and then the second one is giving me refresh queries, then stock currencies, then filter, advanced sort and filter, text to column, data tools, what if analysis, focus sheets, outline.
Can you check if it's the same thing that Lucy? Lucy, where did you find it? Next to?
Okay. On the data tools, there are those icons, the 6 of them.
Data
So
tools.
they represent this. Yes.
Yeah, data tool.
They
Yeah, there's
are
data tools
icons.
here.
Yeah.
There's data validation, there is circle, invalid data, and then clear validation circles.
Your data validation that we are talking about, this one.
Let me open. Oh yeah, it's now giving me any value.
Yeah, so you go back there. So what you click on that data validation and select not any value, but you could just go back and say data validation. Then you here initially you are here any value, right? So you pay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you could say we want whole numbers to be there. So all numbers, and then you want to say between, and you are saying that you only want data entry to be between 18 and 35. So 18 and 35, and then you click OK. That you come and try. If you enter 98, this value doesn't match the data validation restrictions defined for this answer. You good, Soipe?
Yeah, I'm very good now. I've seen.
You can mute, Sasa. Thank you. Anybody else with a question? Okay. Yeah. So that is data validation. But again, if I try to enter here, you can see that there's a warning here. This value doesn't match the data validation restrictions defined for this cell. So this value doesn't match the data validation restrictions defined for this cell. So this, you could also edit this error message so that maybe you tell people what they are supposed to do instead of leaving them hanging, right? So you could go back and say data validation, and then there is input message. So kuna input message and then there's error. But let's start with this input message. Title, you could give it a title, maybe what? Instructions. Instructions. And then under the input message, you could say, so title instructions. Under the input message, you could say, kindly input a value between 18 and 35. Okay, so you can see whenever I just move around here, it's telling me kindly input a value between 18 and 35. So whenever I'm going to type, even when I come to this place, kindly, but if I jump out here, of course, I can't see anything because it's not, it doesn't have any data validation. Yeah. So somebody will know that if they put 36, it's not falling between 18 and 35, right? So that is what you call input message. So you're supposed to here show input message when the cell is selected. You could also not click it, but if you don't click it, then it doesn't make sense, right? You're supposed to check it. Yeah, we could clear all and then talk about something else. There is error alert. So whenever somebody inputs a value and then it's not within the criteria, the validation that we wanted, yeah, then there is an error message that they get. So under here, under style, you could say there is stop, there is warning, there is information. So it's you to choose how you want it to appear. And when you select information, you can see a different icon is here. If we select warning, you could see that danger sign. If you select stop, yeah, so we could call it error and say what is the error message. You could even tell them that whatever you are doing is not making sense to me. Sense. You could say whatever you're doing is not making sense to me, my friend. Yeah. So that is the error message that they are going to get. So let's see. If I put here 78, wait, did I validate this one? Am I cleared the validation? Let me see, 18, let me see, 46, 56. Aha, I cleared my validation. Let's go back and see. There's no validation there, so cancel. Validation, setting, here it is. So it's supposed to be whole number between 18 and 35. Then we come and give them the error message and say, stop. Whatever you're doing is not making sense to me, my friend. So let's go back and see. If you put up a 78, so whatever you're doing is not making sense to me, my friend. So that is like a warning to the person to check maybe the data that they're entering. But of course, this could be hash. Yeah. But what it means, you can write any validation that you want. So it's telling you to retry. So you could go back and even edit your error message, or you could even give them a title that stop. Kindly check your value. It is not matching what I want. Could also tell them that get serious, be serious. 45, 444. Yeah, kindly check your value. It's not matching what I want. So that is a validation that you may do there. Cancel. So anybody, it could also be even gender. So if we have here gender M or F, yeah. So we only want somebody to input M or F. So if somebody is male, or we could just add here male, and this one becomes female, just this way. And then we select it and do the validation and say there is here, there should be in a text. Okay, let's try list. Where are these? List. Okay, let's see. No, we are going to do this list in a different one. Let's see what is here. Okay, yeah. So let me create a list here. It's called male. This one is called female. So if we go here and do data validation and say list, and then it's going to ask for source. So let's see if it's going to work. And then I click on OK. So let's try to see if we're entering. Yeah, so we already have a list we have created here. So whenever I put a cursor here, you can see there's a drop down. So there's either male or female. So it will go that way mpaka even here. You could see, yeah. So if I try to enter something like, if I try to enter something like, what? Kuna wale wanasemaga trans. So if I enter trans, this value doesn't match the data validation defined for this cell. Yeah, so that could be like an error message that they are getting. Anybody not getting that? Yeah, so it's either, so when it comes to a list, you could select this, and then when we are trying to calculate to create for the list, it's going to tell us to select a source. Yeah, but let's see something here. Just want to try and check if it's going to work. If we have this as a source, just trying to see if it's going to work or not. List, and then source. You could say it's this one. I don't know whether it's going to work, but we're gonna try it anyway. Oh, it's working. Yeah, so you could write the first two. So the first, Ama, if you have like a unique list of vitu kama Hudson. Hudson? Yeah. So you could just type, if you have like unique things kama even 6 or 7, you just type them 1, 2, you type male, female, trans, unknown, blah, and then tufike hapo, then you just highlight them when creating your validation. So you do that, data validation, come to list, click hapo list, it will ask you for source, you click there and select your source, and then press enter. Press enter, right? And then click on OK. You could also see some checks zimewekwa hapa. Ignore blank, correct. In cell drop down. So that means that within your cells, you'll find like a drop down which you can just click and select the right value. You click up OK. Apart from that, there could also be data validation on the length. So suppose this one was not named, but it's a phone number. Phone number, right? So phone number, we want it to be a maximum of 10 digits. So data validation, come here and select text length and say is equal to, we will give it a specific length and say the length should be 10. Length is equaling to 10. And then you say, okay. So if I start writing, maybe let's say 07 10, 10, 10. How many are those? 1, 2, 3, 4. 10, then another 10. You could say this value doesn't match the data validation tree restrictions defined for this cell. So because imepita, yeah, so it won't accept. Yeah, so you could go back there and say input message or error alert. You could give them information and say what to do. What to do. The number of characters should be equal to 10 and click on OK. So if I input here, it's strictly 10. If I input here just 1, it's telling me that the number of characters should be equal to 10. So it won't get, you won't put any answer there. Are we good? Thumbs up or thumbs down if you don't get it. Okay. A couple of hands up. Yeah. So I've told you if you have a unique list of things. So for example, male, female, if you have a unique list of things, you can create a data validation there. If we have, yeah, it will be male, female, it could be whatever, even up to 8 unique things. So maybe you have counties. You could have 47 unique validation criteria, right? So 47 like lists that people can choose from. That, again, that could be if you have like a very huge data. So for counties, you could be even having maybe even 1,000 data points, right? So somebody enters the name, enters their information, blah, 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 and then chooses the county that they are coming from. Or when you're doing that data entry, you choose the county that that person is coming from. Yeah, I think that is enough of data validation. So once you feel like you don't want those validation, you could just come and clear. No, you could just come and where you're here, you clear all. Okay, that is that. So we go back to these formulas and we want to look at this. So these are the ones we covered yesterday. Count ifs and the rest. So we have this information and yeah. So there's count where you are just counting. So Brian 1, Nanjala 2, Collins 3, Gidhui 4. So if we want to count the number of people who are underweight, we are going to check here. We are going to check here according to the validation that tulikuwa tumeweka. You could see we said that if somebody is less than if C2 is less than 80, less than or equaling to 80, then that person is underweight. Otherwise, the person is overweight. Yeah. So what COUNTIF is going to do is, if you tell them to count for you people who are underweight, it will just count maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5. It will count for you that 5. I don't know whether we have a 6 and 6 here. So that is count. But you could tweak the same thing and introduce sum if. But where sum is now probably going to sum their ages, 23 plus 78 plus 45. Now that is now the little bit difference. So inside here, we could create maybe income. Yeah, and say that maybe Brian is earning. So we could now introduce income and say probably maybe Brian is earning 30,000. Somebody else is earning 45,000. Somebody else is earning 23. Somebody else is 100. Yeah. Let me drag this thing down here. Yeah, so there are different, so there are people even earning 340,900, 322, 228. Yeah, so we have those values there. So what we could do is we may want to sum the we may want to sum the income of those who are underweight. Yeah, if you are underweight, we want to sum up the total income. Yeah, so that is where now we introduce the concept sum if. So you just start sum if. Yeah, so range. Yeah, range. So what do you want to sum? So we want to sum if somebody is underweight. So you want to select this range. So the range where we are looking up for a value, we have checked, comma. What is the criteria? The criteria is they are supposed to be underweight. Where now we introduce underweight, comma, some range. So where are we looking for that information? It's this part. You'll see that is a little bit different with COUNTIF. So it's telling us that the sum of the sum of income, yeah, the sum of income of those who are underweight is equaling to 503,800. So you can look at the formula. Sum if, and then it is asking you what is the range where we are looking for the criteria. We are looking for the criteria underweight stroke overweight. Okay, comma. What is the criteria? The criteria is they are supposed to be underweight. Good. So where are we getting the digits to sum? So it's telling you what is the sum range. We go and look for the income. Yeah. Again, we could maybe say, so this is for the sum for those who are underweight. We may also want to compare income the youths versus income the adults, where now you say youth, so is equaling to sum if, what is the range? Our range now becomes this, yeah, comma, what is the criteria? The criteria is youth. Right now, I don't have to remind you that you need to put those speech marks, youth, and then the sum range is this one. So you want to see whether the youth are, compare the youth versus wazee. So youths are here, they are earning 1,573,000. Let's check adults. Equals to sum if range, you're looking at here, comma, what is the criteria? Adult. Comma, what is the range? Range is this one. So wazee are earning more than the youths. Wazee are 1,686, where the difference is equaling to 112,200. Yeah, so wazee are earning higher. Anybody any question there? Majaelewa sum if. Anybody who has not understood sum if? Let's check. Mariwa, you good? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Okay. Solomon? Solomon, you're good, eh? Okay. Now, how about Rose? Rosamondi. Rosamondi is good. Now, I want to give a lady a question. Yesterday, a man presented the screen. Ladies, you're presenting a screen. We are going to guide you. There's no harm. Nani, who are we choosing here? There's who has not spoken among the ladies? Eileen, how are you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah, kindly present your screen. Utufanyie kitu kingine hapa. Eileen?
Yeah.
Yeah, we are waiting for you to present your screen.
I want to be able to do that.
Why? What is happening?
I've joined right now, so I still don't know what you were teaching.
We are going to guide you. You just present.
Let someone else do.
Why are you afraid? Eh?
No, just let someone else do it.
No, okay, nominate a lady for us to do it. Look through the list and nominate.
Valentine.
Okay. Valentine. There was somebody called Valentine Ludiama. I don't know whether it's Yako, but Valentine. I hope you're not Ludiama. But present.
Kindly give me some few minutes.
How few should the minutes be? Like how many minutes?
Around 3.
No, that's too much. Yeah, you are going to take up the next question. We should stand in for you as you prepare. We've done some if. I want somebody to do for us some ifs. Yeah. Ngoja amekimbia. Okay.
Let me see. Mariwa.
Ladies, msiogope. It's not something that is hard. It actually gives you more confidence even to handle these things. Mariwa, are you able to?
Okay.
Yeah.
But you'll guide me because I'm not good with some ifs.
No, you'll be good with it after you've done that.
I'm giving a disclaimer.
Okay. Yeah, just present. We'll see what is going to happen.
Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, Mariwa. We are seeing your screen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a
Wow.
minute. Okay, go ahead. So we want you to now introduce some ifs and tell us Yeah.
Are you the one who is typing?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was clicking my mouse.
Okay.
But yeah, just rearranging something. So introduce some ifs and say, so the problem is, we want you to,
Because I'm not able to type. I don't know whether your mouse is still on.
no, I'm not typing anything. You're the one on your screen.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't type on your screen.
Okay. Okay, I can't type.
What is it telling you?
No, imenionyesha kwamba I can't click any Excel, any sheet. Ama I stop sharing, then I share again.
Yeah, you could do that so that you see if it's going to work. Now are you able to?
see?
Oh yeah, we are seeing it now.
Okay.
So, so what you can do is,
Some ifs.
yeah, so that is some ifs. But I want you to sum if the person is a youth, the person is a youth, and also wait, you could first get the nini.
Okay.
So, no, not a youth this time around. We start with adults. So check if the person is an adult. The weight is greater than 60.
Greater than 60?
Yeah, so some if the person is an adult and then the weight is greater than 60. So we want to find the income of those people who are adult and their weight is greater than 60. Yeah. You get it?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So the person is an adult and the weight is greater than 60.
And the income is?
No, we want to find the income of those adults whose weight is greater than 60.
Okay.
Yeah, the total income.
So I start with the sum if?
Yeah, you try it first and then we will correct you once you umekwama.
Okay. If the person is an adult, just a minute. Then I go to comma. Then I say income.
No, first check the weight. Okay.
Or the weight.
Okay. Andika tu what you want to write until we.
No, you have to guide me. So the weight umesema is greater than
60.
Greater than 60. Then I do in brackets.
You are going next to income. See, some range is supposed to be income. Are you able to see screen, Mariwa's screen? Mariwa, you're not seeing what you're doing. Maria's screen has gone blank. Let me resume. Unless Mariwa, seems your screen has gone blank. But what you're supposed to do is, so we want to sum if, I think Mariwa has developed some technical hitches. So sum ifs. So the difference here, you're going to start with the sum range. What do you want to sum? So first we want to sum this. So the range in which you are doing the summation, we start with. Then we go to the first criteria. What is the first criteria? The first criteria is, the first criteria range is this one. But we are focused with those who are adults. Adult. If you're an adult, comma, and then what is the second criteria? The criteria range is your age. Age is supposed to be greater than 60, right? What is the error that we have here? I think it's here. Let me see if it's under this. Greater than 60. Adult.
Sorry,
Yes.
simu yangu ilipotea. Sorry.
Yeah, we actually figured out that you're having some issues. Yeah, so we decided that we're correcting it. Yeah, so this is what you are supposed to write, eh? But what we are just saying is, when you talk about sum ifs is equaling to sum ifs. Even before we talk about is equal to sum if, let's go back to sum if. When you look at sum if, you see we are starting with range, what you are looking for, then we say the criteria, and then we go to the sum range. So sum range actually comes last. But when you talk about sum ifs, you'll see we start with what the sum range, and then now we define all the criteria that we want. They could even end up being 12 or even 90 different criteria, and the criteria that we want to set. So you start with the sum range. So the sum range here is the income level. Are we together, Mariwa?
Yes.
Yeah, so that is the difference now. So here you see sum ifs. So you start with the criteria range, the income, comma, where then the next thing we were checking is whether this person is an adult here. Then we go to age. Age is supposed to be greater than 60. So this greater than 60, you also have it in brackets. We could even add another one and say the person is gender is equaling to male. Gender is male. M. And we could even go ahead and say the person is overweight. The person is overweight. Overweight. Yeah? Yeah, that's it. Overweight, yeah. So there's no way we are going to use this one again because they've already described that they are overweight. Then we get that the total sum of male adults, the total income of male adults aged greater than 60 and are overweight. Or you could say the total income of overweight male adults aged greater than 60. Yeah, so you'll just look for how to define it. But again, this is the concept. But the concept is with sum ifs, you can have very many criteria. So you could even add 3. So you can see here, we were at criteria range 4. So there's criteria range 5, criteria range 6, 7, 8, 9 mpaka ufike mahali unataka. Are we together? Everybody. Lucy Kamau is not together with us. Who else is not together with us? Lucy, kindly unmute and shout out your problem.
Okay. I think I haven't quite understood because when I'm doing the sum, if mine is coming to 0.
Yours is coming to 0.
Yes.
Yeah, you can present, we see your error. Present. What else? So sum E2 to E13, F2. What is F2? F2 adult. Move next. What is this 20? So C2, C13. So for you, what you've said is you want to sum those who are whose age is equal to 20. Do you have any person in this group that has the age 20? We don't have anybody who is aged 20 years up. Yeah.
Yes, it's from 21, but when I had put, I should put the exact age that there is or a range.
See, we said for us, we are looking at people who are greater than what? 60. So you have to introduce greater than sign. Greater than.
Like that.
Yeah, greater than, and say maybe greater than 30.
Mine was 40.
Okay, say greater than. Okay, you can even do greater than 30. There is no harm.
Okay, greater than that, like that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Okay.
I think I'd missed the greater than.
Yeah, if you write 20 only, then it means like you're very specific that
Okay.
yeah, you only want people who are aged 20. So if you don't find people aged 20, then Apple, you won't find any answer. You'll get 0.
Understood. Thank you.
Welcome. Yeah, you can stop presenting because you're still seeing your screen somewhere. Okay. What else? Anybody with any question? Apple? I think we should all be good with.
First, I had a question. Is it, for example, if my list, the youths, the way you've typed youths with capital Y, then when I'm doing my formula, I type maybe small y, the youths. Will it accept? Is it case sensitive?
Have you tried it out, Apple? But you'll find definitely. Okay, let me do overweight, which is O on dog. It's not case sensitive. So you see, answer in we're still finding an answer, right? Let's see. Go back to this one. Say youth and dog. We're still getting what we had. So here it's not case sensitive, right? But so you could say it's spelling sensitive. So if you have upper youth, now maybe I introduce that extra space. Let's check. You see it's 0.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is if we now have an extra space up, so it won't find something mentioned like that.
Okay.
Okay. Any other question? Nathan, are we together? Yes? Anybody is left behind before you look at something else? Mhm. Okay, so what is remaining? We need to talk about what? We've not talked about. Wait. Faith, are you good? We've not talked about average if. I think those ones are now good. There's a certain concept here. I'm trying to remember it. When you have a blank, so you may want to tell Nini to get to exclude a blank. I'm trying to remember how. Okay, let me just see. It's been a while. How can we do it? Let me try and copy this and see if I will remember, and paste it here and say average. I know it's going to work, but I'm trying to look for a certain criteria here. But there's a case where you may tell Excel that if it finds blanks, it should ignore. I'm looking for the perfect example to bring it home, and that is what I'm struggling to get. Okay. Can't seem to find any way to get that answer. There is also sometimes when you're doing some Excel function, some maybe writing a function, then you get some errors, and that is where you can use something called is equaling to if error. Here, if error. So what should Excel do when it gets an error? I'm really looking at any example that you could use to explain it, but that is what I'm not getting. Yeah, but so if error value, then what is the value that it is supposed to return if there is an error? Yeah, we'll look at it, Nini. We look at that case maybe on Monday. When you have an error, then what is Excel supposed to do? So there is error and also there is blank space. But for that blank space, when you're writing it, you always do you always put something like this. You always put kitu kama hii. Yeah, the example is escaping my, yeah. So kitu kama hii. So this means, okay, let me try to, yeah, you've entered too few arguments. Yeah, this example, I'll look for a way in which you could explain it. But this is what Excel understands as blank. So we'll check it on Monday. And the other one, yeah, if error. Okay, so that explains things around max, mean, count if, sum if, and then let's look at VLOOKUP. I don't know whether you have an example that we're going to use. But let's delete this. And let me copy this. Okay, somebody should tell us what VLOOKUP does. What does VLOOKUP do? Let me pick a character here. This character is called Benjamin. Benjamin, what does VLOOKUP do? Kwanza, are you conversant with VLOOKUP? Then we go to what does VLOOKUP do? VLOOKUP stands for vertical lookup. Benjamin? Who else do we have here? Hillary?
No, I'm not conversant with VLOOKUP. I don't know it.
Oh, okay. Mariwa? No, Mariwa, you've been speaking for quite a while. Do you have Emily? How many Emily left? Okay, I have Lucy?
I'm not quite familiar with it.
Oh, what are not? But there are those people who mentioned that they're quite good with the same. Okay. Let me look for the last person before I tell you what VLOOKUP does. I'm seeing some hand is up. Let me check who the person is. Yeah, just unmute. I'm not able to see. Whoever put their hand up.
It is a formula that helps in searching for similar information from different Excel sheets.
From different, yeah, of course, it could be different Excel sheets, but it could also be just in the same Excel sheet. Yeah, but we could look at one concept where it could be within the same Excel sheet. Okay. So let's think of this and let's look for, let's say we have here Brian, or I could give a different example. But let's look at a simple one called where we want to look for somebody like Brian. Yeah. So our lookup value is Brian. We want to look for information about somebody called Brian here. So there's that one where you could have information in a different Excel sheet, and then you're doing a VLOOKUP. So for information that is here, but you want to find that, you want to query it in a different Excel worksheet altogether. But there's also the same way where you could have that information just in the same worksheet. So you could look at the one with the same worksheet, and then we'll also look at another one with the different worksheet. So again, it's just similar to just looking for type VLOOKUP, and then it is asking you, what is the VLOOKUP value? What is the value that you want to look for? You could say it's this, right? And then say, what is the table array? Where do you want to find all that information? That information is supposed to be found here. Yeah. So that is our table array, comma. What is the column index? What is the column index? Yeah. So here it's where it gets interesting. Range lookup, column index. So we could say, okay, let's think of it that we could be looking for, so, okay, column index. We could be looking for the income of Brian, right? And so column index will be, so you count here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I believe it should be 5. And then what is the range lookup? What is the range lookup? The range lookup, should it be like a true or a false approximation? So true could be that is an approximate match. False is an exact match. If you type false hapa mwisho, it means like you want just an exact match for the information of Brian. But let's type here first false, so that you see, and then we'll type true. I think it should bring, okay, 30,000. So what you see here is, what we want to look up for is, we want to look for the income of Brian, for somebody called Brian within this list of us, right? So what is the table array that we are looking for that information? So you could highlight all of it, yeah? We'll even just highlight mpaka hapa kwa income. It won't really matter, but we could look for information yake within all this from name up to youth to adult up to here, right? And then you go back to column index. Column index, you're going to give it in numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So column index, you start counting from where you have the first information. So first column here becomes index number 1. So you want to count it from at A, ni 1, 2, 3. A does not contain our information, right? So if you put here 6, because you started from A, you are going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You are going to get whether Brian is underweight or overweight, right? And then false is, you use false when you want an exact match. You use true if you want an approximate match. So 30,000. So how about if we change this name here and say it's Maxwell? So Maxwell, we can find that Maxwell has is earning 340,900, right? If we change this name to maybe somebody like John, is 171,700. But how about if we introduce a name that is not there, and maybe say, you could say Celso, then it's telling you not applicable. Why? Because Celso is not there. Celso is not there. Or yeah, but again, if we check Mariwa, Mariwa is earning 152,900. Yeah, so this is a way for you to look up for various information that you want. So that is VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP is called vertical lookup. It's called vertical. So VLOOKUP is called vertical lookup. Yeah, the other name is called vertical lookup. Yeah. Let's see what we have here, not applicable. So if I have a list of people, so okay, let's do it here. So I want to see information ya Mariwa, I want to see information ya Boniface, and I want to see information ya Karaoke, some few select people, and I want to see how much who is earning, Kevo. All right. So I could say is equaling to VLOOKUP. So what is the lookup value? The lookup value is Mariwa, right? Comma. What is the table array? Table array is this one, comma. What is the column index? So column index is where are we looking for that information? What is the index? So like, okay, in which column are we looking for that information, right? So what is the index of that column? So the index of this column where we're looking for Mabona income is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you type there 5, and then you could say false, right? So you find that Mariwa is there. You could also just drag down so that you find Mariwa is earning 152, Boniface is at 96,500, Karaoke is at 190,500. Do you have him here? Yeah. Then you could say Kevo is at 322,100. Yeah, okay. Excel was funny. So 322,100. You could have it in a different Excel sheet altogether and say this is VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP. Yeah. VLOOKUP. So we could say we want information ya kina nani. Yeah, we could even just copy all this. Just copy what we have here and then say copy and then come here and paste. So in a different sheet altogether, we want to extract information from a certain, so you may not need all these things, right? Maybe you have a long list of information, mpaka maybe here, but you don't want all of them, yeah? You just want some key specific things. You just want even maybe 2 columns. So that is where now VLOOKUP is going to also help you. I want the name, and also I want their what income, and their income, right? And then after income, I may also just be busy with, or maybe interested in whether they are youth stroke adult, right? Yeah. So we come here and say, so hiyo ni KRA is querying your information. So youth stroke adult. Yeah. But it could not be that you are copying everything. Pengine like you are just interested in some 4 people peke yake or 7 people only. Yeah. You're only interested in some select people. You know the names and how they are when information zao appear in this other side. So you just come here and say, so this one we are now in a different worksheet altogether, right? But you want to pick that information from this table called formulas. So you just come and say is equaling to VLOOKUP, so vertical lookup, right? What is our lookup value? Our lookup value is this one, comma. What is our table array? So when you get to table array, you come and click formulas hapa and then select the table array. You could select this table mpaka hapa and drag it. Yeah. And then go back to, formulas. So this one, comma. Then you come and put a comma. What is the column index? Column index of income is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You type there 5, comma. Lookup value, you could say, okay, let's say even true. So a true is up. True. The value in the first column of the table must be sorted in ascending order. So that is with true. Let's see. False. VLOOKUP will only find an exact match. Yeah. Prefer to use this one. And then press enter. So once you've done this, now you can drag it up to here. So you've easily picked. So instead of even dragging, you just double click. So we also want to find out. So you can see the referencing here. So it's giving us the name of the table where we are picking that information, which is formulas. And then it's telling us the range A1 to G19. So this is one whole thing. And then there's 5 column index, whether false or not. Yeah. Then we come back to this one. Is equaling to what? VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP, what is our lookup value? Yeah, lookup value is this, Brian, comma. What is our table array? We come back and mention this. Ukuja hapa kwa formula band, comma. What is our column index? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you say 7, and then comma, false, because we want the exact. So you say, you can say Brian, you can see that Brian is a youth, wherever, and everything. So you have your information there. That is VLOOKUP. Anybody with a question on VLOOKUP? We could look at the complex examples. Ella? Are we together? Hillary? Who is feeling left behind? Amos? Amos, are you good? Derek? Amos, you're being told too many functions. You're being told too many functions. Who else is getting an error? Yes? I want to see those who are good and those who aren't good. Lucy, are you okay? Or you're also getting an error? Lucy is okay. Solomon? Solomon is okay. Hillary? Hillary Omai is okay. Mariwa? Thumbs up or down? Okay. Derek? Yeah, Amos, no, there are quite a number that we haven't checked. Ross, how are you doing? Do you find it good? Okay. Nanjala? Angela is not mentioning something. Okay, Amos, tell us what the issue is. Amos. Is Amos speaking? Amos, you. Oh, let me share. Okay, share. Yes, just click share and it will share. It doesn't require permission. Amos is not. Okay, just a minute. I see what you're doing. So guide us through what you are doing. You could also unmute and speak, Amos. We are not hearing you. Amos unmute, but I've definitely seen one of the errors there. I'm saying A2. Can you click the VLOOKUP formula that you have there? Click on it. It's telling you. So where have you written? You know what you need to do is okay. A2. So your lookup value should not be A2. Your lookup value should be J. I'm saying J what? So the first A2 there, can you delete it? Not even delete, yeah. That A2. The first, your lookup value should be this Moses, which is J7. Delete that comma before J7. Delete the comma before J7. Where your cursor is. Are you able to unmute? You're not audible. Okay. J7, just go back to your formula and then lookup value is, where are you looking it up? What is in D2 and D20? We are not seeing it. D2 and D20, what's there? Yeah, it won't be easy to help you without hearing what you're saying. Yeah, can you click that thing? Yeah. So that is also a wrong thing. So your D, it's not supposed to be D2, D20. It's supposed to be referencing the list of people there. So instead of D2, D20, can you push it sideways? It's supposed to be A2 up to A20. So delete that D2, D20. Delete first D2. Yeah, delete that D2. Yeah, now drag from A2 going downwards. Yeah, up to A20. Comma. Yeah, okay, that's okay. F you're at, so lookup index ni, yeah. Can you now press enter? Unless you put too few arguments. What is the ref? I think you've left something. Go back and see. What is the ref? Okay, so what is the index? Can you scroll? We see the index of that income. By the way, you've also not highlighted the table. Yeah, I think that is also another one of the argument that you. Yeah, so after J7, yeah, after J7, which is the lookup value, then you need to highlight the whole table. Yeah, after A2, before A2. Before A2. Yeah, highlight your whole table. Highlight the whole table, Mr. Moses. The whole table, okay. Yeah, it's just okay. You proceed. Yeah, and then put a comma. Yeah, can you press enter? If it's getting an answer. What is the error? Are you getting an error? Scroll, we see what you've gotten. Up, enter. What are you getting? What is it? Let me see. Amos. Yeah, there's something that you need to delete there. Kuna hiyo A2 yenye umeandika hapo. There's one formula that is there. Delete your A2 up to, delete your, okay, delete A2. But one of those commas is also there, but you could delete the whole table array. Okay. Delete A2 up to A20. And then press delete again. No, put the what? Column index, which is supposed to be 5, Not 5. It's supposed to be 2, or Dini, number 4. And then press enter. Yeah, so that was the issue there. So you could drag and okay. Yeah, so the first thing, J7 is highlighting. In the first case, you are having it at A7 or something, but it's supposed to first highlight J7, which is the lookup value that you want to check, and then A2 to G20 tells you the whole the table array. The table array, you highlight all that table, and then 4 is the column index. What do you want to do to look up for the value? So it's in the table index is D, under D, which is 4. Then false is whether you want an exact match or an approximate. Yeah, you can stop presenting, but check on your microphone and everything. This is something that you could have resolved when if you are speaking. That's why we're lagging and lagging. Any question? Any question before we stop? We haven't done HLOOKUP. So HLOOKUP is rename, not rename. We'll do it next on Monday. So HLOOKUP. So there's HLOOKUP and there is also another one called XLOOKUP, but I doubt whether the formula inakwanga hapa. It's always on Google Sheets. And even another formula there that we haven't talked about called unique. XLOOKUP. there are some formulas that are not available on this version of Excel, but it's available qua spreadsheet. Because even right now, if you type is equal to X, not really even the spreadsheet, but Microsoft Excel. If you type here X lookup, you can't find it. But H lookup, you are able to find. So lookup value, table array, row index, range lookup. So there's also a formula called H lookup. Mine has both X lookup and H lookup. I don't know why is it that mine is not having. Yeah, but it depends on the version. What is your version, Nani? Anaitwaje, Lucy? Are you using Office 365? 2021, 2018. So your version is 2021. Yeah, I think that is it.
Yeah, it has an update of 2021, but it's originally 2019.
Yeah, mine is still 2016. I think that is also the difference. In these other ones, it's not there in the versions that are lower. But the 2019 is going to Office 365 is I think they have. So you could find H lookup there. You could find X lookup there. Yeah, I don't know whether somebody has a question. Yes. Yeah, you can mute Nani. Aitwaje? Lucy, is it Lucy? Not seeing who is on corner. Okay, so your assignment is up. I'm just sharing that link with you immediately after this class. But something else that you need to do, review the contents that we've covered during this week. Next week, I think next week we'll be talking about data analysis.